Hey, so I'm going to adjust this just a little bit. We're going to pick back up where we left off yesterday. Of course, sorry. There we go. And we're still looking at Joshua and the instructions that God gave Joshua and how personal it was that God said, as I was with Moses, so I will also be with you. I will not leave you. I will not fail you. I will not forsake you. Isn't that good that we can trust? Oh, I'm so sorry. So sorry. That we can trust, that was my foot, that God will not fail us. That when we have His word on something, but He will not fail it. He will not fail you. And He will not fail me. He cannot fail. I don't even know that it's that He won't fail us, but He cannot fail because He is God. Oh, I'm really having a good time with these this week. I pray that you are too. But He is ministering to me in so richly. He will not fail. So let's go into verse 6 then. It says, be strong, confident, and of good courage, for you will cause this people to inherit the land which I swore to give to their fathers. Only you be strong and courageous, that you may do according to all the law which Moses my servant commanded you. Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that you may prosper wherever you go. That's full too. There's just so much rich in this text. He says, you be strong and courageous. Only you be strong and courageous. In the midst of what I've asked you to do, in the midst of coming in behind Moses, having to fill his shoes, being compared to Moses, which, I would never want to be compared to Moses, please. Those are some pretty big shoes to fill. Regardless of all of those things, be strong and courageous, which goes back up to, I will not fail you. I will not forsake you. So you be strong and courageous. Then he says, do all that you may do, all according to the law which my servant Moses gave. And then he says, turn not to the right or to the left. Stay in the parameters of the law that Moses set. And so when you do that, when you don't turn to the right or to the left and you stay on the course that you've been given, he says that you may prosper wherever you go. So that would be equating, of course, keeping the law of Moses to being prosperous. But while we don't keep the law, we are not bound. Our salvation is not determinate upon our behavior, thank God, or our goodness, or our innate goodness, which y'all, we are not innately good, period. We're not. If you, even looking at children, they're not innately good because we are all born into sin after Adam. And so it is until we recognize good and evil and the darkness, that innate nature that's in us, and that we ask Jesus to wash it from us and teach us how to live right. But we're not innately good. We're just not. I'm sorry if I'm the first person to tell you that, but we are not innately good. But Jesus teaches us. He changes our hearts. He changes the inner man to be innately good, but it's only in Jesus. But there are benefits of obedience to the law, obedience to God's plan, His will. Again, training in righteousness that we looked at, that the scripture is good for training in righteousness and holy living. There are benefits to our obedience and us living the way that He wants us to live. So that we may prosper wherever we go. When we do the things that God tells us to do, when we don't turn to the right or to the left, even though it would be easier to turn to the right or to the left, but we do what He has called us to do, what He's commanded us to do. It says that you may be prosperous wherever you go. So that being prosperous wherever you go is based upon you and I doing what he told us to do. It's not based on, that this is our responsibility. And sometimes we don't like that. We don't like that we do have a part to play in this game. And we do. Our actions, if you ever want to really know what's on the inside of a person, you can look at how they act on the outside. I mean, you can look at their actions. You can look at the way they talk. You can look at the way they live. You can look at what they watch. You can look at the fruit that they bear. This is not judgment. This is looking at fruit. So the same thing is my life. I'm not telling you to look at anybody else's. I'm telling you to look at yours. I'm to look at mine. And so I can know what my heart is by looking at what my fruit is. And so that I may prosper wherever I go. Am I turning to the right or to the left? Am I sticking on what God has told me, his instructions and his way of doing things? And we do have responsibility, and it may be easier at the time to go another way, to make a different choice, to do something different. But see, God's looking at long term. He's setting things up for eternity. He is working things out on a grander scale rather than just my day to day and my week to week. And so if I will do as he's commanded me to do, that's going to allow all the pieces to fit together much quickly, to be quite honest. Because if we don't do it the first time, if at first you don't succeed, try again. And so I feel like I'm going all over the place on this, but that we do have a part to play in making our way prosperous. And that is that we're obedient, and that we live according to God's standards, and that we use his scriptures as basis and guideline for what our actions and behaviors should be. And so we should finish this up tomorrow, and I will see you then. Bye.